Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is ECW. We have made it to the greatest show of the week, just a few nights away from our next exclusive pay-per-view, Anarchy Rules, in what should be an incredible night of action. There is also going to be an incredible night of action here on ECW, coming to you from Detroit, Michigan. Tonight, just a few nights away, of course, we have got to put on a big show, and we have done exactly that. Big matches all around the shop, such as this one that you'll be seeing here tonight. Dean Ambrose and Tetsuya Naito, one-on-one. The two challengers for Aleister Black's ECW Television Championship will square off. Will square off one-on-one in what should be a very, very interesting affair between both men. Both these men, of course, have a little bit of bad blood with one another, I suppose you could say. Have had a little bit of back and forth with one another. Last week certainly helped to prove that, and we'll see what happened here tonight. But then for our main event, what promises to be a big main event as well, Roderick Strong will team up with fellow Four Horsemen member Baron Corbin to take on the team of Wade Barrett and the ECW champion Seth Rollins, with Roddy and Seth just a few days away from squaring off in the main event for the ECW Championship. What promises to be another great match there. Another match that was signed in between this week and last week for the pay-per-view, Baron Corbin and Wade Barrett to go one-on-one due to the bad blood that kind of occurred between both men last week, and also one that invigorated on throughout the show as well, and after the show, in a clip that I will show you a little bit later on tonight. But as for right now, we're going to get things underway with singles action between Apollo Crews and Sheamus. This match has a bit of a leeway heading into Anarchy Rules going for it, in the fact that both Apollo Crews and Sheamus are going to be at Anarchy Rules. If you remember back to last week, I talked about how there's going to be a returning superstar and how there's going to be a new superstar making their debut on the ECW roster. Well, Apollo Crews will do us all the favor of welcoming back that new superstar into the ECW brand, and that should be a tough opponent for Crews, I do believe, and at the same time a very welcoming present for the guy coming back, because he has got a tough, Apollo Crews, even though he hasn't found the success yet on ECW, he is still, in general and all around, one of the toughest competitors you could find in the universe today. He's got everything going for him. He's got all that he needs to be a great star. I think he is aware of that as well. Well, that being said, tonight he will go one-on-one with Sheamus, who will do us all the favor of welcoming the new superstar into this universe. What could well be a very interesting affair in that one as well. Sheamus, of course, is a very tough opponent. Is known to be a bit of a brawler, not afraid to get down and dirty in order to pick up the win by any means necessary. And so the person who makes their debut at Anarchy Rules has to deal with that in a bit of a tough circumstance, I suppose you could say. And Sheamus, if there's anyone who loves to spoil a welcoming party and make the attention go all to them, it is the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. And Sheamus heads towards the ring right now to do battle with Apollo Crews here to kick things off on ECW. And what promises to be another interesting night of action here for the ECW brand. And as Sheamus heads towards the ring, his intention there is on Apollo Crews, who seems to be a little trying to push the attention away from Sheamus and onto that of himself. And that is not something that's going to sit well with the Celtic Warrior. Sheamus does not take too kindly to people trying to hog his spotlight. And as we can see here right from the start, Sheamus is not afraid to put the boots to someone as well, just to prove that point. Twisting neck breaker there by Sheamus as this one gets underway. As I said, both these men could do with that win heading into Anarchy Rules. They both need that momentum following them. They want to try and pose a big threat to the opponents that they have to take on, and that means, of course, now that you now know that the Anarchy Rules card is almost fully done. The biggest problem that we're running into right now is the cruiserweight match between Neville and his challenger. However, Neville has just said, give me anyone. He doesn't care who steps up to the plate. Anyone and everyone will do him just fine. Just to reiterate the point that he is the king of the cruiserweights. So with that being said, while there may be a cruiserweight match here tonight, it does not mean that we will be determining number one contenders for the cruiserweight title. It is up to anyone on the night to show up and go for that title. And then on top of that, we've got another tough affair. The only match that we haven't talked about really is going to be later on tonight. AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt are set to meet this Sunday for the ECW Tag Team titles, but tonight they will meet one-on-one in the ring in what also promises to be another hard-hitting affair. Styles won the Fatal 4-Way last week to guarantee himself and Shawn Michaels the number one contendership for those ECW Tag Team titles, and now here tonight, AJ Styles looks to try and get into the head of Bray Wyatt, a man who last week said he did not care about about AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels. And of course Bray Wyatt last week as well flattened AJ Styles in the middle of the ring with a Sister Abigail. So there is certainly a little bit of animosity between those two, I suppose you could say. One that we will be seeing coming to a head here tonight. But as for right now, we've got Apollo Crews taking the fight to Sheamus, and this you've got to respect as well from Apollo Crews. He knows his career on ECW hasn't been the most successful, and he's trying to do whatever it takes to turn that around. One of the standouts from NXT when he was there, never got a shot. I don't think he ever had a shot at the title, but still proved that he had the ability to go after anyone and everyone. Leslie's proving right here. Look at the strength of Crews to pull that off. Crews gets his act together. I think we could be looking at an incredible future star of ECW. Perhaps, and I'm not trying to do their job for them, but perhaps we've got a future Horseman on our hands here. I mean, if you want to try and get this guy a little bit of experience, I think someone like Chris Jericho and Arn Anderson would be a very great signing to their, acquisition, I suppose, to their faction. It just all depends on who they would choose to let be the honorary horseman and let them be on their way. After this Sunday, we could be having a new honorary horseman in Roderick Strong if he somehow finds a way to bend magic. If he somehow finds a way to twist reality around and pull off a win over Seth Rollins. Yeah, best of luck in that one. Last week gave you enough of a message of how that match is going to go. We'll focus on this matchup right here. There was a great standing shooting star press by Apollo Crews, but Sheamus still showing he's got a lot of fight left in him. Crews is in position here, and he's going to look to strike with something now onto Sheamus. Will it be the back suplex powerbomb? Yes, it will be. Sheamus, though, tips himself over to counter out of it. That was a last-minute counter by Sheamus there. One that he needed to pull off, and one that he did a good job in pulling off as well. But Crews is still fighting. Sheamus forgets how a turnbuckle works. Counter. Bro kick! One little slip up by Crews, and this one is over. The bro kick smashed into the skull of Apollo Crews, and Sheamus is ready for his opponent at Anarchy Rules. Bring them up, and Sheamus will do his best to knock them down. A Celtic Warrior will do anything if it means getting attention, and here it is right now. That getting attention of Sheamus that he craves, that he desires, and that he wants more than anything. Sheamus is not done with Apollo Crews here. I don't even think Crews knows where he is right now. Sheamus knows what he's doing, though, and he's taking pride in it. What a clothesline there by Sheamus. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Oh, here we go. It's going to be the Celtic Cross, I believe, or the High Cross. Oh, White Noise even by Sheamus. But he doesn't look done yet with Crews. Doesn't seem as if everything's all wrapped up. Here comes the Celtic Cross now from Sheamus down onto Crews. Sheamus using Apollo Crews there to send the message to the new signing. You may have this hype to you. You may be taking on Sheamus, but don't think for a second that he's a slouch, that he's a pushover, and he's going to give you a free ride to victory. Sheamus, for sure, ready for that challenge at Anarchy Rules. Apollo Crews, I mean, I feel kind of bad for the guy. He was on the cusp of victory there. Sheamus, though, pulled out a veteran-like maneuver to counter out of it. Knew what he was doing. A great awareness to get that win. Crews, though, still don't count him out of his match at Anarchy Rules. He was just used as a whipping boy here by Sheamus after the bell. Anyway, speaking of the... I talked about the cruiserweights earlier on in the match. Now we're going to get to that. A cruiserweight tag team match. The team of Zack Sabre Jr. and Rich Swann will take on the team of Tony Nese and Gregory Helms. I am interested to see how the concept will work in this tag team match. We've got, we have got two teams. We've got two pretty distinct teams as well. We've got a team that would probably respect each other, I imagine. Sabre Jr. and Swann, both respected by the crowds and respect one another backstage. And then we got Nese and Helms, who both like to feed their own ego, both like to turn attention towards them. So it would be an interesting affair in regards to that, to see how they would be able to work together, considering they're so self-minded. But here comes Zack Sabre Jr. fresh off his win last week over Akira Tozawa in what was a very competitive cruiserweight match as well. They really put it all out on the line to get the win, but Sabre Jr. forced a submission and currently looks on paper to be the #1 contender if they're, in this open challenge. I would not be surprised if we see Zack Sabre Jr. step up to the plate and decide that he wants to go after the Cruiserweight Championship. It's just all about if anyone else chooses to join him. Because this is an open challenge, so for all we know, we could see an extra person pop up. We could see maybe Swann pop up if they win this tag match here tonight. We could see another 5 more, including Sabre Jr. but there for a 6-man battle royal. Who really knows? I certainly don't, but that's what makes it so interesting. Anyway, here comes Rich Swann towards the ring. He's recovered finally from his beatdown at the hands of Braun Strowman a few weeks ago. Rich Swann ready to do battle here in this tag team cruiserweight matchup. Coming to the ring with such enjoyment and enthusiasm as he always does. And, well, there's a bit of unity being shown by Nese and Helms picking on the same targets here. They're not picking on the same targets, but they're going after people. However, it's kind of backfired a little bit for Tony Nese up on the entrance ramp. Swann is taking it to the premier athlete right now, and the referee needs them both down by the ring, I guess, to start this one off. Sabre Jr. also doing a good number on Helms, or maybe he's not. Maybe it's a bit more back and forth, but Nese's attack on Swann has failed. It's failed big time as well. Russian leg sweep on the outside by Rich Swann. Whatever the premier athlete was looking for there is completely and utterly backfired on him. Gregory Helms found it kind of successful, but there we go. Nese pushes him out of the way. It's Nese and Sabre Jr. in the ring now, and we can get this one underway here. Oh, what a super kick to Sabre Jr. Tony Nese. When we get in the ring and the bell rings, the premier athlete knew what he was doing there with Zack Sabre Jr. Let's see what'll go on in this moment. Death Valley driver by Nese, who very nearly became a #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship recently. Matter of fact, of course, I think he was one of the only men in this match to challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship in that 6-man ladder match. The other competitors, Tozawa, Suicide was in that one, Malenko, trying to remember all of them, Trevor Lee, and one other who I'm currently blanking on. I feel like it might have been someone in this matchup. It may have been Rich Swann, although I don't feel like it was. Of course there was Neville, but I'm trying to think of the other challenger. I don't know. I'm blanking on them right now, but here's a cover and a 2 count there by Tony Nese. Zack Sabre Jr. they're finally able to pull out the reversal, and here goes Sabre Jr. now going to work on the arm and the shoulder of Tony Nese, as he should do if he wants to try and get another tap out with that cross arm breaker like he picked up last week. Cover here by Sabre Jr. now, but it's obviously only going to get a 1 count. Still early days in this matchup. Swann on the outside. Pacing back and forth a little bit. He seems ready to get in this one. He seems ready to do some damage in this matchup. But Tony Nese right now is doing a good job of keeping Zack Sabre Jr. at bay. Tag made. In comes Helms. Let's see what will happen here. Double team, double arm drag. Oh, and a synchronized kick. Very good working tag team coordination there by these two men. And there we go, he just popped his head out a little bit. A neck breaker that one was there by Gregory Helms, though, as he finally can get himself involved in this matchup now and do some damage on Sabre Jr. The more they do to Sabre Jr., the more work Rich Swann is going to have to do, which makes it a little bit easier for Helms and Nese to get the victory. It kind of becomes more about a 2-on-1 and less about a tag team match. Running it on the head of Zack Sabre Jr. an awful lot here, and Sabre Jr. in big trouble right now, caught in a cross-armed neck breaker by Helms. And Helms will go into the cover here, trying to wrap this one up early. Swann breaks it up, and you can tell he wants in this matchup. He can't wait any longer, but Sabre Jr. is currently unable to do anything here to fight back. Oh, there we go. Here goes Sabre Jr. now. Forearm shot in the face. And he needs to make the tag here. No question about it. Northern Light suplex. But Gregory Helms is getting up to his feet at a fast pace. Into the turnbuckle he goes. Oh, misses the turnbuckle completely. And Sabre Jr. firing away now. Able to get something going here. What a Pele kick that one was. But Gregory Helms able to counter him. Another Northern Light suplex on its way. He's in the ropes though. Swann needs to get out of the ring quick, I think. There hasn't been a tag made in this one, and that is affecting Sabre Jr. and Swann's ability to pick up the win here. But that is not stopping Sabre Jr. His mindset getting a little bit too full as he locks in the cross arm breaker now on Helms. Can he force Gregory Helms to submit here? I don't think he will. I don't think enough has been done to Helms, and certainly not enough to his arm. And he's getting out of it at a relatively easy pace. Sabre Jr. going after the arm once more. I am very surprised that this man hasn't looked to make that tag into Swann. He needs to make that tag at this point, I think, if he wants his team to stand a chance of winning. Cover made here, and again Helms is quick to kick out. The most experienced of these four men in the match. Helms knows what he's doing. In this one, he knows how to pace himself. And here we go, he throws Sabre Jr. back into the turnbuckle here. Double axe handle into the back, missed. There's a counter once more by Gregory Helms, and he knows what see, this is exactly what is happening here. He's able to make the tag into Tony Nese. He's able to just walk his way slowly over there as well, because Sabre Jr. has been in for so long and he's so worn out. Tony Nese forces Rich Swann into this matchup. Demanded the tag there, and Nese, though, using it to his advantage. Oh! Double splash in the corner to take both men down. And now Nese will close in on Rich Swann here, who's finally getting to be in this matchup, finally getting to explode with his offense away onto the premier athlete here. But you can see how long Sabre Jr. was in this match and how much of a mistake it was. He's still not up to his feet there. From the top now, German suplex by Swann. Hangs himself up there still, so he can go to the top rope now. Frog splash! What a combination there by Rich Swann, and what a difference he's making in this one. And Swann, 450 splash there, kind of at an awkward angle. Not too sure if he got all of that one, but still, certainly got enough to do some damage. Look at how Rich Swann is exploding away here. Nese is in a world of trouble. Nothing is stopping Rich Swann right now. Phoenix Splash to try and put away Tony Nese. Oh, he nearly did it. So nearly got the win there. What an explosion of offense this has been by Rich Swann. Look at how Nese tries to just bring it to a halt. Slow it down for a moment. Cannonball by the premier athlete. And I don't think he got all of it. I think he somewhat missed the target, and that has given Swann the opportunity to counter back here to get himself back in this one. He's going to go for that German suplex again now from the top. Nese looking almost out of it as he's hit with it again. Swann going to go for it. Oh! Get like a corkscrew sent on, I suppose. Counter though by Nese, who needs to make the tag now into Gregory Helms, but unlike Sabre Jr. and Rich Swann's fiasco, he actually threw him into the corner right away, but Swann didn't allow the tag to be made. Walks the ropes and hits a Hurricanrana. What a move there. What a difference maker in this match Rich Swann was, as the tag is made back into Sabre Jr. now, who seems ready to take it to the premier athlete. From the top. Oh, it's a crossbody by Sabre Jr. Kind of just like they just collided with one another more so than anything. Northern Light suplex again here. Nese dead center, middle of the ring, in trouble. Can Helms provide the save? He can't, and they win it. Sabre Jr. with his signature Northern Light suplex with an incredible bridge on it as well, picks up the win in this one. And the difference maker in that one, incredibly as well, I should say, was Rich Swann. What a performance by Swann that was. Made the tag, and wow, he exploded away right away. That was incredible by Swann, and he saved that match for those two men. Zack Sabre Jr. made the mistake there of thinking it was a singles match. I think he could take them both on, being a bit too courageous. But the moment that tag was made, Tony Nese really caused his own problems, because once Rich Swann was brought in, there was nothing at all that Tony Nese could do to stop the onslaught of offense from Rich Swann, and these two may be looking at a shot at Neville now in a few days at Anarchy Rules. We'll see about that, but we're going to move on immediately though to our next contest now. We'll move on to Tetsuya Naito and Dean Ambrose. You talk about matches where, you know, you're trying to get into your opponent's head, where you're trying to get under your opponent's skin as well, where you're trying to prove that you have what it takes to get a win or whatever, to prove that heading into the pay-per-view you're the one to pay attention to. That's this match right here. While it may be a triple threat match at Anarchy Rules, these are the two challengers for the title. These are the two men who just do not like each other, plain and simple. And they have made a rather interesting way of showing that off over the last 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks ago, was it? I believe it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm gearing more towards 2 on that regard. That it was Ambrose and Naito who squared off one-on-one, with Naito picking up a bit of a surprising victory on the night. And Dean Ambrose got his revenge last week. He got his just deserves, and I guess you could say last week, when he attacked Tetsuya Naito following his matchup, following his victory, planting him in the middle of the ring with dirty deeds. And now with these two men scheduled to face champion Aleister Black for the ECW Television Championship at Anarchy Rules, you know that here tonight this matchup means more than just being able to beat up someone who's been getting under another person's skin. It means momentum. It means potentially heading in as the favorite. It means more and more. The thing is, the more this match is, the more we gear up towards that match at the pay-per-view, the more Aleister Black has managed to, without even trying, play a bit of mind games and make his opponents fall for it. And I'll state why here. Aleister Black has, to the best of my knowledge, only shown up once since winning that television championship, and that was to get beaten up by Dean Ambrose before his match against Chris Jericho. However, what Aleister Black has done by staying out of the entire situation, just staying in the shadows and having no involvement at all in this whole ordeal, is he's gotten himself to watch his contenders tear each other apart before the pay-per-view. Think about it, Naito and Ambrose don't have Aleister Black to go after because he's never here. He's never around for them to go after. So now they've had to go after each other, and go after each other they've had. They had a grueling matchup whenever they faced off. I'm sure it was 2 weeks ago. And then last week, Ambrose laid out Naito. And with no Aleister Black around, with them having another match here tonight, wearing each other down, they're getting more and more worn out, more and more fatigued, more injuries being caused. What's to say that by the time Anarchy Rules rolls around, these two men just don't have what it takes to handle the fresh Aleister Black. And with these two men so under each other's skin right now, so irritating to one another, engaging in these weekly fights with one another, Aleister Black could really just kind of back out of this whole thing. Just pay no attention to it. Could just wait down the outside as these two men brawl it out, and then just pick up the pieces when the match is over with. These two men are making a mistake, and the champion is benefiting from it in an almighty fashion. Ambrose and Naito, though, probably do not care about that, just so long as they get to beat up someone, and that is what they're getting to do right here tonight. Naito would love nothing more than to have another victory over the Lunatic Fringe and another win heading into Anarchy Rules. Hasn't lost in some time, has Naito. He's looking to make it another win here tonight. Oh, total DDT there. Naito, of course, can celebrate his win last week over one half of these WWE Tag Team Champions, Bray Wyatt, which is the closest so far he's managed to get to going one-on-one with Aleister Black. And he's still got to wait for that. He's still got to wait for that opportunity to go after Black, which of course will come this Sunday. But right now, we're going to pay attention to this match. We're going to keep our eyes on what's going on here. And here is the Koji Clutch by Tetsuya Naito, a move that he locked in on a number of occasions to try and force Ambrose to submit. When they faced off, Ambrose, though, once more proving that he's not going to submit. The Lunatic does not tap out. Oh, he ran right into that forearm, though. Don't know what his genius idea was there. Ambrose counters, cross body, and the Lunatic flurrying away with strikes. And now what will the Lunatic Fringe look to do? He's got Naito down, and an opportunity presenting itself in front of him. Taking him to the ropes here. Dean Ambrose, will he look for it? Yes, he will. Forearm shot. Lunatic lariat by Ambrose. And Naito's down. Into the cover once more. Goes Dean Ambrose to put away Naito here. Not going to be. Naito kicks out at 2, and Ambrose does not seem best pleased about that. I think even in the demented mind, the insane mind of Dean Ambrose, he knows that the longer this match goes on, the more it's going to cause problems for himself heading into this Sunday. And of course, he wants that momentum on his side because he wants that title back from Aleister Black. This was originally meant to be a rematch between those two men until Naito came in and tried to spoil the party. Naito there with a knee in the face. Oh, and a spinning heel kick, and Ambrose is busted open. The Lunatic is bleeding as a result of this matchup. Who would have thought we would have been seeing that in this one? I mean, sure, at the pay-per-view, but not here tonight. Downward spiral there as Naito continues to go after the open wound now of Dean Ambrose, as he should do. Good shoulder tackle there. Uh-oh. Powerbomb on its way from the looks of things. Ambrose, though, gets himself out of it. And that was very tactically thought there by Dean Ambrose as he floors Naito down there with that elbow. What he does is he gives himself an opportunity to catch his breath. Something that he needs when he's busted open. Here goes Ambrose now. Double forearm shots in the corner is Naito. Another forearm and the Bulldog follows suit. This could be Ambrose's moment to pick up a huge win, a stellar victory for him as well. Busted open and all to try and put Naito away before the triple threat match. Elbow from the top rope. Naito's in trouble. Ambrose is not taking a break. The lunatic found his second wind and he's acting on it. Dirty deeds to Naito. Into the cover with 1, 2, 3. No! Naito kicks out. And Ambrose there for a moment just frozen in place. Stunned more so than anything that Naito's fighting in. And look at that, another German suplex by Naito to prove it. How? How is Naito still in this one after everything that Ambrose just hit? Naito's hanging on and now he's back in control in this match. It makes absolutely no sense to me, but I don't know. I don't know how this one works. These two men are just completely insane in their own right. The Stardust! Stardust! I believe that one is the Stardust Splash. By Tetsuya Naito, the move that brought him to victory last week over Bray Wyatt, but Dean Ambrose just bats it off like it's nothing. He's back up to his feet. Oh, brings him down with a double chicken wing face buster. How are both these men hanging on at this point? They've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at one another, and the only reason they haven't thrown that is because disqualifications are in effect. Ambrose now, after the Stardust, has been able to turn this match around into his favour. Somehow. What will he look for here on Naito now? The lunatic lining up his shot before he tries to knock it out of the park there. And Naito is still down here, still in trouble. Ambrose, meanwhile, is still just running around rampant in the attempt to try and win this matchup. Look at these shots now, unloading away by Ambrose. Strikes, chops, whatever else he can throw at Tetsuya Naito here. But Naito able to counter back on a number of occasions there, knee into the open wound. Ambrose catches the boot, drops an elbow down on it as well. These two men, I don't think I've seen a match so back and forth with so much just pure action in some time maybe. Look at the blood now dripping down the face of Ambrose. He certainly is not at 100%. He is certainly reeling in a lot of pain right now, but that's just how Ambrose likes it. He enjoys the pain. He welcomes it because it fires up Dean Ambrose towards victory. Another lunatic lariat. How much more can Dean Ambrose give though? Can he hit the dreaded dirty deeds to put this matchup to rest? He lifts up Naito. He pulls him in. And it's a second dirty deeds to Naito. The cover after it. 1, 2. No, Naito still kicking out. I think Naito may have got busted open as well. I can't really see with his hair. But I believe Naito may also be bleeding. And if these two men are that busted open or in this state before Anarchy rules, then it kind of makes it a little bit easier for Aleister Black to walk out with that title. This is exactly what I'm on about, getting under each other's skin, and the champion isn't even here to do anything about it. Roll up though by Ambrose. Ambrose has tried everything, and he's resorted to desperation, and he pulls off the win with it. Dean Ambrose is the winner here. It may only be by roll-up, but to be fair, with the amount that he threw at Naito and how Naito was able to kick out of everything, I'm surprised that the roll-up did end it. But here we go. The mind games have ended tonight. There are no more mind games. There are no more getting under each other's skin, because the ECW television champion is out. Aleister Black ran his way into this one. Dean Ambrose in huge trouble here at the hands of Naito, at the hands of Aleister Black. Naito just walked away, acting as if it's nothing. I don't think he knows where he is right now. Double foot stomp by Aleister Black. The ECW television champion has left his mark on one of his challengers, and the challenger who wants him more than the rest. Ambrose laid out in the ring to end it here. Is that a prelude to Anarchy Rules? And is what we saw the move that will secure Aleister Black as still your ECW television champion? Time will tell. We'll find out this Sunday, but one thing's for sure, Black certainly has an advantage heading into it after that out-and-out brawl between these two men. What a match that was. But Aleister Black stands on top at the end of it. We'll see if this is a spoiler for this Sunday. But we're going to move on to our next matchup now. Speaking of this Sunday, two men who will engage in a tag team matchup for the ECW tag team titles will meet one-on-one here tonight. It's AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt. I still think we need a moment to recover after that last matchup. There was so much going on that we didn't have time to talk about. We didn't have time to think about really anything that was going on. It was just right into the next thing. What a match that one was. We could be in for another great match here between AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt. These two men have met in the past. And if I remember rightly, AJ Styles' hometown as well. I believe on that night the show may have been from Gainesville. It was certainly in Georgia. And AJ Styles lost to Bray Wyatt. And he's going to look to try and turn that around here tonight and look to make it a huge win for the Phenomenal One on the road to Anarchy Rules. AJ Styles on a fatal four-way last week involving Johnny Gargano, Chris Jericho, and Dean Malenko to become the #1 contender for, along with Shawn Michaels, of course, his tag team partner for the ECW tag team titles, and they will meet Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman this Sunday for that title. And what promises to be another hard-hitting tag team matchup. Styles and Michaels, perhaps the strongest challenge right now on the ECW tag in the ECW tag division. I don't know. The lack of experience they have going with one another, and I mean that in the aspect of they haven't been a tag team for too long, could be the difference maker in that one. With that being said, there is also another difference factor in the match, and it goes by the name Braun Strowman. Thankfully, Bray Wyatt has decided that he will take on this match tonight, perhaps looking to overcome the loss last week to Tetsuya Naito by trying to defeat AJ Styles on a second occasion. Whether or not that'll be the case, we'll find out in just a moment. But here is Bray Wyatt, the leader of the Wyatt family, the Eater of Worlds, heading towards the ring. Last week, Wyatt made a chilling threat, claiming that Styles, Michaels, Ambrose, Naito, they mean nothing. Those four men mean nothing to the Wyatt family. They're just more names to chalk up on the list towards the Wyatt family's ever-present domination of ECW. This is the Wyatt's era, this is the Wyatt's time, and this is the Wyatt's division. And let that be known. And the chilling threat as well that Bray Wyatt loves to give to every opponent. Run. Well, it certainly doesn't seem as if AJ Styles is running from this challenge here tonight. He wants to go face to face with Bray Wyatt. And we're going to get that right about now. The bell rings, and we are underway here between Styles and Wyatt. A match that could help to shift the side, the momentum. And a match that could help also try and give one team an advantage over the other. Perhaps if AJ Styles is able to somehow give Bray Wyatt a concussion, even though I don't know if that's possible given how already demented Bray Wyatt's mind is. then it would be down to just Strowman, and maybe with the experience factor that Styles and Michaels have, they could overcome Strowman on their own. Whether or not that's the case, so of course that waits to be seen. But one thing's for sure right now, neither man can overlook the other. Both men have success in both. Well, AJ Styles has yet to find that success in the tag match. Of course, once he wins the tag team title, he will be a Grand Slam champion. But both these men certainly have success within singles competition. Bray Wyatt, a former ECW television champion. AJ Styles, a former ECW champion and a former United States champion as well. Pele kick by Styles. Caught that one right on the mark. And here goes Styles now, using his strength to his advantage. Look at that being pulled off there. What a powerbomb by Styles as he flips over into the cover by Bray Wyatt. Able to get the shoulder up right away there. Big kick in the gut by Wyatt. And oh, what a back suplex that one was. Wyatt now going to try and cause some problems in this one for AJ Styles. Maybe not. The Phenomenal One is on his game here tonight, and he's getting out of a lot of Bray Wyatt's attempted maneuvers. That being said, the ones that the Ito wheels are connecting with us, more so doing their damage. Speaking of doing their damage, the Phenomenal Blitz by Styles will send down Bray Wyatt once more. Up on top is Styles. He caught him on the back, but it looked like a nasty landing for Styles as well. Forearm shot, countered though by Wyatt. This could be a great opening here for Bray. Look at the strength of him there, almost being shown off as he launches him over with that suplex. Bray Wyatt now, sent on splash. All of his weight coming down on AJ Styles. That is going to do some damage to your ribs. And here's a move that's just going to do damage in general, both physically and mentally, as you see this man crawling over towards you. The spider walk by AJ Styles. Definitely not by AJ Styles. The spider walk to AJ Styles. And here comes the blow by Bray Wyatt. The kiss of death and Sister Abigail. Into the cover and with one. Oh, nothing more than just one. AJ Styles there showing his resiliency, showing why he has been called the Phenomenal One for so long. As he kicks out of that one early, and Styles now all of a sudden able to fight back. Fireman's carry neck breaker. And Styles is in position to try and pick up the win the same way he did last week. Phenomenal forearm by Styles. Into the cover he goes. Pick up a huge win over Wyatt here tonight. No. Bray Wyatt kicks out at 2. And Styles has still got a little bit more to get done if he wants the win here tonight. Kind of even game right now. Both men have nailed a finisher on the other to try and get the win here. And both men are still able to put on near 100% as well. Look at the strength there from Wyatt being shown as he planted AJ Styles there with that back suplex gutbuster. Forearm shot now by Styles, and another one there connects on the money onto Bray Wyatt. Look at the strength there by AJ Styles. First the backdrop and now the reverse suplex onto Bray Wyatt, who's in a bit of trouble now. Just like we saw with Dean Ambrose a moment ago, AJ Styles has woken up in this one all of a sudden and is able to put the damage on Bray Wyatt. And he's going to try and force him to tap out here. Calf crusher on Wyatt. Not one who's known to tap out, but AJ Styles is going to be ambitious and try and get that here. Not to be. Wyatt out of it, and oh, what a blow there on the back. Going after the back now of AJ Styles, trying to take away his speed advantage that he has in this one. Gonna look for something once more there. Styles are able to pull out a great reversal. Something that he needed to do there. And now what does AJ Styles do? Nothing is what he does. He's brought into the corner by Bray Wyatt. Uh-oh, and he's going to be brought into the dreaded Tree of Woe. Just where I imagine someone like Bray Wyatt would enjoy his opponents. Tangled upside down, stuck. Unable to do anything. So Bray Wyatt can unload on them, but Styles there moves out of the way of that elbow. But he still can't capitalize. Look at this back and forth by both men here in this moment. Duck under there by Styles. And oh god, DDT by Wyatt. How quickly he was able to make the momentum of AJ Styles come to a quick and almighty halt. We talk about this. We talked about it in Ambrose and Naito's match, and the same applies here. The longer this one goes on, the more problematic it is for both men, wearing each other out. They have their tag team partner to rely on, but that's where things get worse for AJ Styles. If he's able to, the longer he wears out Bray Wyatt in this one, and if he's worn out by the end of it as well, that means they've got a deal. That means that if AJ Styles is not 100% by the end of this one, that means that Shawn Michaels may have to go it mostly alone with Braun Strowman. Something that can't afford to happen. AJ Styles pulled out the counter and he brings Wyatt in place here. The strength of Styles being demonstrated. Styles Clash connects. Styles into the cover, and with 1, 2, 3, AJ Styles picks up the win in this one. Right at the end there, Styles picks up your win. He is victorious, and the Phenomenal One can celebrate that victory before Anarchy. Oh no, oh no. It's Strowman. I don't know where he came from, but Braun Strowman's here. And he's going after the Phenomenal One. AJ Styles is in a world of trouble right now. Braun Strowman, from out of nowhere, has come to leave his mark. The running power slam, and the Phenomenal One down and out at the hands of the monster among men. Alright, this is it. It is time for the main event. Just a few days before Anarchy Rules, we have 2 of the featured bouts going at it in aligned tag team action. Roddy Strong and Baron Corbin of the Four Horsemen to do battle with a team that has been on each other's side more than once, but are a duo who do not really care about anyone other than themselves when it comes down to business. Kinda in the case of Seth Rollins. He's always doing the greater good, of course, for ECW and this roster and this brand as a whole. But here are these 2 men, Baron Corbin and Roderick Strong, 2 men who have been arriving more and more on the scene. 2017 has been a strong year, no pun intended, for these men. Roddy almost closing out on a year in this universe, and he would love nothing more than to celebrate that year than winning the ECW Championship from Seth Rollins. Baron Corbin still looking for his first singles title in this universe, still looking for pretty much for his first title in this universe, as the tag team titles that he held were a part of the Four Horsemen, but it was under Horsemen rules, meaning he only defended them once just to protect the titles from going to the hands of the Ascension. But anyway, here comes Wade Barrett. A man always got a lot of ego to himself, a man who's certainly changed his attitude ever since I took charge of this roster. And he proved it when he was ECW Television Champion. But I want to take you back to last week. Wade Barrett may well have beat Baron Corbin by countout last week following a brutal assault on the outside, but it was what transpired backstage that made a difference. As you see here backstage, Corbin's frustration was building. It was brewing about what had happened, and there was no respect shown in response by Baron Corbin, who gave him another disrespectful shot, a slap in the face, before turning his back and walking away as quick as he could. And with that having happened, there was no choice but to make this match at Anarchy Rules. Too much of a heated problems going on between these 2 men, and the chance to get a future out of it, the chance to get something from it is certainly there. But we turn our attention right now to this man, the ECW champion, the savior of this brand, Seth Rollins. Look at that man, and what a man he is. Made his first first in-ring return, his first match since SummerSlam last week, defeating Neville in one-on-one action. But here tonight, Rollins is going to be in tag team action, squaring off with Roderick Strong just a few days before their main event bout for that ECW Championship. Rollins is in the zone. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it. His confidence is at its peak, and his ability in the ring is better than it's been for some time. The greatest wrestler in the world today. And he proves it time and time again. He will prove it again at Anarchy Rules. He will prove it again here tonight. And he will prove it for as long as he holds that ECW Championship, which I know for a fact we both have no intentions of letting it go to another person. There is no one who can save ECW like Seth Rollins can. There's no one who has the envisionment for Seth Rollins like myself, and he does. I said Seth Rollins, I meant ECW, I think. Oops. There is no one who can lead a locker room quite like Seth Rollins. And there is no one who I'm more proud to call a champion than Seth Rollins. So that being said, Roddy Strong, he kind of defied the odds to get this far. A lot of people thinking maybe it was Samoa Joe who was going to win that little mini tournament to become the #1 contender, but it was not to be. Oh, what a big boot there. Of course, Roderick Strong was defeated Wade Barrett to get into the finals of that little mini tournament, so there is maybe a little bit more bad blood between these two men. Look at the strength of Roddy Strong being demonstrated here. Double backbreaker to the 260-pounder Wade Barrett. Roddy up on top here. What is interesting to note is how Roddy is first in. Despite being the #1 contender, despite perhaps wanting to protect himself ahead of that main event, Roddy wants to fight right away. And that is something he's doing a good job of right there. Nice counter, that pump handles slam attempt by Wade Barrett, and the tag is made here. Come on, Roddy, you can get out of the ring now. That's very illegal of you. Referee there getting on the count, and it's a good thing that he did. Corbin in now. A prelude to Anarchy Rules, this bout between these two men showing itself up here. Magma Claw stitched in here by Baron Corbin. Wade Barrett should do a very good job of getting out of that one. This is a man who has endured far worse pain than a submission from Baron Corbin. Wade Barrett, of course, former Royal Rumble winner. Main evented WrestleMania. Three-time ECW television champion even, I believe. Nope, just a two-time, now that I think about it. But he has achieved a hell of a lot of success. One of the greatest superstars in this universe to never lift the World Championship. Wade Barrett, he needs to turn his act around a little bit more if he wants to make sure that that can happen in his career. And after the leg now is Baron Corbin. Nicely done. This is good stuff right now by Baron Corbin, keeping Wade Barrett down and just trying to annoy the bare knuckle brawler, because if you keep Barrett on the ground, it wasn't going to be able to do him much favors. And Barrett here in his own mentality, he loves to fight. He's a bit selfish when it comes to fighting. He loves to take all the target for himself, and in doing that, he's allowing Seth Rollins to stay fresh, to be fair, ahead of this Sunday. His consistency with fighting Corbin and Strong here, giving him some troubles in regards to, actually making the target of Seth Rollins and actually making a bit more of a tag team match, but which is a bit weird given the past of Wade Barrett, a two-time ECW tag team champion, but he cannot be bothered to make a tag here. He is being given a lot of problems by the duo. The four horsemen working together well here. Nice move there. Suplex and an aided crossbody, and that's a chin lock that's not even being applied onto Wade Barrett. It's the shoulder lock being applied here. Very interesting. Very new. Have we fixed it? I think we have. No, we really haven't. Okay, good stuff. Wade Barrett, though, is out of that attempted chin lock, shoulder lock thing. Takes him into the corner here, and finally the tag team champion remembering what he needs to do. Make a tag. Rollins in, and a crossbody as the ECW champion will now go after his #1 contender just a few days before Anarchy Rules. Of course, if you paid attention to last week's show, you would know that while Strong was victorious over Shawn Michaels, Seth Rollins got the last say when he laid out Strong in the ring. What a counter there, though, by Roddy Strong. But he laid him out in the ring with the curb stomp. And then Seth Rollins gave him what for, essentially. Later on in the night, following his victory over Neville, Roddy Strong was nowhere to be seen after it. So all eyes are pointing to a Seth Rollins title defense, I think, and that is exactly what ECW needs. Roddy Strong is a fine competitor. He's a great competitor, but he doesn't know how to lead ECW into the next era. He doesn't know how to make the future of ECW happen. He's too inexperienced. He's too young. At the end of the day, he's not even the leader of the Four Horsemen. He's just one of their lackeys. And is that what we really want leading ECW? A lackey? I don't think so. Seth Rollins, though, he's not a lackey. He's a leader. He is a born leader. And he will do whatever it takes to keep this brand all about giving opportunities around to others, while making sure that Seth Rollins is the man that we pay attention to. Great double team there by Rollins and Barrett. Certainly a little bit certainly a little bit of an interesting move, to say the least, and one that I was very entertained to see there. Tag made once more, and Roddy Strong cannot get out of the ring to save his life, apparently. Corbin and Barrett going at it again, and look at this by Corbin now. Oh, his own variation of a Falcon Arrow suplex, more so than anything. And he goes into the cover here, isn't hooking the leg, is doing it right in front of Seth Rollins as well, but Barrett didn't seem he wanted Rollins' help. He just kicked out on his own accord. And here goes, Baron Corbin now pummeling away with strikes on the Wade Barrett. Barrett needs to turn something around in this match. He may have done just that. Good counter there. And he's countering again. Pulling out the reversals left, right and centre in this one. Barrett, I think, needs to make the tag into Seth Rollins once more. And that is exactly what's going to happen here. Tag made. The champion is in once more. And it's a double team move to the larger Baron Corbin. And you can see Seth Rollins is ready to use his legs to his advantage to perhaps play a final note for someone. Not sweet chin music, but rather a curb stomp for Baron Corbin. He's getting up to his feet right now with Rollins up on top. Crossbody by the champion. Beautiful thing right there. Oh, Corbin though pulls out the counter and he goes to the outside, giving him an opportunity to tag Strong back in. Now that's exactly what he will do. Good tags between the Four Horsemen in this one. But Rollins exploding away on both men here. They both go down at the hands of the Architect. That is the actions of a champion. Roddy Strong though pulling out the reversal here. Will he look to do anything? Oh, well, he was, but he took too long, and Seth Rollins gets the advantage with a big knee in the head. Rollins running up to the top rope. We know what's incoming. It's the best variation of it. Phoenix Splash, but Strong moved out of the way. Strong able to get out of the way there, and now Seth Rollins is in huge trouble. Oh, thank God. He got his way out of it. Rollins was almost about to be planted there with the Fireman's Carry Gutbuster, but instead he was able to get himself out of it. Tag made now. Barrett back in. And look at this double team. Atomic drop. Big boot there. And here we go. It's Roddy and Barrett once more. Fair play for a duo who don't usually like to work together with one another. They have pulled off a lot of success in this one. And Rollins wanted back in there, but oh, Roddy denied it. Roddy with the counter. Now what can Roddy Strong look for? He's going to make the tag here is what he's going to do. He's going to make the tag into the fresher Corbin. Let's see what they'll pull off. Oh, this is kind of around the other way. Backbreaker and an elbow drop. Wade Barrett flattened by it, and he could well be out here as a result of it. Rollins, though, ever the savior as he has been with ECW, and as he has done with that championship, saving the matchup here for Wade Barrett and himself. Good big boot in the face there, and oh, he loaded up the bullhammer there. Barrett was ready to load up that bullhammer, but Corbin, with almost an expert counter, able to just get himself out of it. Baron Corbin now going to leave his mark on Barrett before Anarchy rules with a back superplex. This matchup has been very much so back and forth heading into these final stages, and Barrett's ready. He's ready to deliver what could be the final blow. Bullhammer. Corbin is down and may well be out. cover here with 1, 2, and no, Corbin's out of it. The lone wolf of the Four Horsemen stays alive in this one. Counter there. Corbin, he needs to make the tag in. Oh, he's not going to go for it, though. It's a little bit like Zack Sabre Jr. early in the night. He's going to look for something else. Trio of Woe here. Digging the boot in the face of Wade Barrett. I think he needs... I would honestly say, though, this is one of those situations where he needs to make the tag. Maybe not. Deep 6 by Corbin. Into the cover with 1, 2, and Rollins saves the match again. What a save that was right towards the end there. I don't think Barrett would have been kicking out of that one. But look at how Wade Barrett just almost refuses to tag himself out here. Doesn't want to tag in Rollins. In the corner here, and Roddy's going to tag himself in. Just like we saw with Swann earlier in the night. But all the same thing happened as it did when Swann was tagged in. Will Strong unload on Barrett? Maybe not. Tilt-a-whirl. Oh! Tilt-a-whirl sidewalk slam and a big boot to Corbin. Wade Barrett is making sure to make all the attention in this match about himself. As he takes it to the #1 contender for the ECW Championship now. In the corner they go. This is going to look like a nasty landing for Barrett once more. He's been here once already. I don't think he can afford to be here again. Rollins, though, in to make the save. And oh, to plant down. Roddy Strong a little bit as well. Wade Barrett out on that top rope, essentially. He's not doing anything. But here we go. He's up to his feet now before Roddy. Oh, double knees in the gut. How much more can the #1 contender give in this one? Well, apparently maybe he does have quite a bit more to give. Belly to belly by Strong. As Strong now finds an opportunity to go for that cover. Here it is. There's the count. There's 1. There's 2. And there's the save again by Rollins. The ECW champion more so carrying this match for the team right now than Wade Barrett, who has put it in jeopardy on numerous occasions. Camel clutch here applied to Barrett. Can't crawl to the ropes. But can he fight out of it? Yes, he can. He does so in a very strong and in a very well-mannered way as well. Well-mannered? I meant a very well thought out. He was very polite about getting out of it. Oh, what a knee in the corner there by Strong. Is this Roddy's opening now? It's going to be his opening to make another tag into Corbin maybe. Oh, it's denied. Barrett making sure that no tag happens in this one. Wade Barrett though in big trouble here. Single leg Boston Crab being applied. Barrett needs to make it to the ropes maybe. Or to fight his way out of it again. And he does just that. Gets his way out of it. And still, you're just seeing it here. Wade Barrett with no intentions of wanting to make the tag out of this one. And it may well cost him. Gutbuster by Strong. Into the drop kick. His signature maneuver. And one that usually leads into the end of Heartache. Roddy Strong getting this ECW crowd up on its feet. This could be a huge win for him. Before Anarchy rules, he brings him in. End of Heartache, connects with it. Wade Barrett could well be done for. Rollins in, he just watches on though, and oh, Barrett's still kicked out. Baron Corbin celebrating in the background. It's like he thought his team had won it. Somehow Barrett's still able to kick out. I don't know how he kicked out, but he found a way to do just that. Roddy though up on top. Leg drop. But how much more does this man have to give? I don't think he's got anything left. I think he's out. And he's left it down to Corbin to pick up the pieces. Baron Corbin going to get a win over the man he faces. Anarchy rules. End of days. The cover. 1, 2. Oh, Rollins saves it again. Seth Rollins. He's putting him through a lot. He's putting Wade Barrett through a lot here. But this is Wade Barrett's fault for not being able to act on it. Wade Barrett's fault for not being able to take control of this situation. So this is a man who has won the Royal Rumble, and he can't handle two lackeys of the Four Horsemen. Big strike there by Corbin. Wade Barrett gets out of the way. And he sends him into the corner. Look where the very worn out Roddy Strong is, leaning up against the ropes there to try and catch his breath. The mistakes being made here by Wade Barrett are clinical, but it's his own doing that is resulting in this. What a strike that one was. That could end this one. And oh no, it won't. Barrett kicked out, and you saw there Rollins chose not to break it up. Chose not to make the save in this one. Corbin, oh, that was his own undoing that cost him that one. Don't stand around Seth Rollins. Oh, what a punch that one was. Corbin could be knocked out from it. No, well, I don't know what's going on here. Corbin seems a little bit flustered. Barrett, he's just watching Barrett crawl around now. The Lone Wolf enjoying what he's seeing here. As he sends Wade Barrett into the corner once more. This matchup for all four men really needs to come to an end sooner rather than later, or they're going to be so worn out, so bruised and battered heading into Anarchy Rules. It's just not going to be a good night for any of them. It's going to be a painful night. Baron Corbin, oh, perhaps looking for a measure of revenge over Barrett. Perhaps looking for the count-out win over Barrett as a way of repaying for last week. Oh, here we go. Barrett and Corbin getting it on the outside here. Bit of brawling going on, but Strong is there to kind of sort out the situation. T-bone suplex on the outside. And with everything Wade Barrett's gone through, that is going to feel far, far worse than it should. Look at this here by both men. The Four Horsemen just picking apart Barrett on the outside, and Seth Rollins is doing nothing to help. To be fair, I can't even argue against it. This is Seth Rollins' own undoing that has caused him this. As the count progresses on here now. Should reach 8 in a moment. Referee just very lenient there. Wade Barrett lifted up by Corbin, who's going to go for it. Deep 6 again. Surely there's nothing more this man can give. The cover, the count, and the 3. The Four Horsemen win it. Seth Rollins just a little too late to help. However, while the Four Horsemen look to celebrate this victory, there is no time for Roddy to celebrate. The ECW champion getting right in his face just days before their clash to try and shake down, to try and scare down Roddy. But it's clear that the #1 contender shows no intention of backing down here. Roddy Strong, full of guts, full of determination. But Seth Rollins is the master of human chess, and he is one step ahead of you, Roddy. Oh, and Roddy turned his back. He made mistake #1. Don't turn your back on Seth Rollins or you will pay for it. And Rollins will get the last laugh here. Curb stomp. Never turn your back on an architect. Never turn your back on an opportunist. Never turn your back on the ECW champion. And Rollins, he wanted a bit more of Strong, but what? Somehow Strong's found a way to fight back here. Somehow Roddy Strong has gone right back up to his feet. And the ECW champion's in jeopardy. Corbin and Barrett have gone their own separate ways. They've gone elsewhere, leaving Roddy alone to have his way with Rollins. This isn't supposed to happen. This was never supposed to happen. Roddy Strong with End of Heartache. I don't know what just happened, and that wasn't supposed to happen. Roddy Strong was not supposed to in any way, shape or form be on top here. Roddy Strong doesn't deserve to be standing above Seth Rollins. And Roddy Strong doesn't deserve to be talking to this microphone right now, speaking about how he's fighting for everyone, that the same old propaganda bullshit we got from DDP. And Roddy Strong finishes it off with his with stating that this Sunday it is not a fight for what's right against what's wrong. It's a fight to end tyranny. It's a fight to end the lies that have been spewed at us. The propaganda that has been demonstrated. Seth Rollins and myself are nothing more than jokes, we're nothing more than disgusting criminals, and at Anarchy Rules, Roddy Strong will balance an order to ECW, will bring balance and order to the Four Horsemen, and let a real division, let real people who care about everyone, who care about the many and not the few, do what they choose with this brand. Roddy Strong is trying to destroy the very fundamentals of ECW once more. Another man blinded by the failed fight of DDP. Another man destined to bring about his own doom for himself, the Four Horsemen, and ECW as a whole. Do not let this man win this Sunday, Seth Rollins. Let what happened to you tonight be a total and utter shock. Let it just be a moment that will be forgotten, because at Anarchy Rules, Seth Rollins will stand atop over Roddy Strong, still your ECW champion, as we redesign, rebuild, reclaim ECW, and let those like Roddy Strong, let those who still try and counter-fight, let those who still try and lead a revolution made from nothing, spewed upon lies, and looking to bring around the devastation of ECW, let it fail at Anarchy Rules. And that is not a threat, that's a promise.